Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle Earth here with a little bit of a different video, a little strategy or attack tactic that I have been using a little bit the last few days, and a lot of people have used this. This isn't a new thing, but if you're new to the game or maybe want to learn how to more efficiently do this, I wanted to talk about Eagle or Fell Beast bombing in Rise to War. And I'm going to go in detail on how I do it and show you a lot of reports that I have. But the idea is that you use little to no troops that can fly and send them over to do damage to a full army to kind of whittle them down. Kind of keeps people on their toes. It's annoying. It allows you to scout and see what's there. But basically, in all these reports, I'm using a very small amount of Fell Beasts or Eagles, but doing a couple thousand supply damage at the most. Some go better, some go worse. Getting some XP for no cost. So it's something to consider. Again, depending on your situation, we were fighting with a group called Illy at this pass over here. And so while we were waiting for 8 hours for Fellowship Fortresses to build so we could attack the other side, all we could really do and can do is kind of bomb over and hit these tiles over here. So I'm going to show you what commanders I'm using. There are better commanders to use for this. The gear is just kind of whatever's best in slot for this commander, so I won't spend too much time on that. But I want to go through the different reports because more than anything, I think it's kind of funny that you can do this. So let me know what you guys think, and if you have other interesting tactics or strategy kind of things like this you want covered, comment down below and I'll see what I can do. But let's go ahead and jump into the video. Here's how to Eagle or Fell Beast bomb in Rise to War. Now, like I said, the goal is to use as little troops as possible. So here I'm using Fell Beast. I have 360 supply. I'm going over, I'm hitting this guy right here. Again, doing a little chunk of damage, nothing crazy, but you can see that I actually am out damaged by, this is probably one of my better ones to be fair. So you can see that I received 37,000 damage and they received 84,000 damage. So with little to no troops, I was able to kind of double the amount of damage that I was putting out. Now, again, if you're just doing this by yourself with nobody else, it's probably not going to be as effective. This is one of those things that I feel like if your team or my team, for me, but for my team's watching, we should probably, coordinate a little better. But if you were to coordinate and send 10 people at one time to land like this, and again, you're using 5 to 10 Fell Beasts apiece, you're going to hit and take out a few armies ideally, because everyone you can see, these are all full armies going from 6,500, 7,300 down to 47, 51, whatever it is. So anyway, you can see there's lots of different examples, but we go in here, we hit for 37, or we get hit for 37 and get taken out, but we do hit them for 84. So that's kind of the what Eagle bombing is. But I'm going to look more in depth at these reports in a second, but I want to show you which commanders are best for this because there are better ones to use. If you don't have the right commanders, I think you can still have some luck, but these ones will make a huge difference for you. Now, in terms of what commanders you want to use, you want commanders that do really early round damage because you are not going to be lasting forever because you're bringing in little to no troops. So you just want them to put out as much damage as they can. So anybody that goes in with the skill Nazgul, where there's one more that's going to work, is going to be ideal because these skills say for the first 2 rounds, deal 400% focus damage to 2 enemy formations upon taking action each round. So that's a good chunk of damage going out very early in the battle. So Skullhelm's great. Another one you can use is Sistaro. He also has Nazgul, so same exact skill here for Sistaro. He can work. You can use someone like the Undying. He's kind of the physical version of those commanders. So he has Weapon Master. For the first 3 rounds, deal 300% physical damage to 2 enemy formations. You also have a chance to stun, which could be nice as well. So Undying is a usable option. We also have the Witch King, who also has Nazgul, which again is another good option, early round damage going out. Kumul can also be used for this. He does have Nazgul as well. So again, if you're on the newer side, the budget side, you could just build a lineup and put Kumul in there because he has Nazgul and will also put out a decent amount of damage. And last but not least, I think this is the last one, is Lotr. He has Weapon Master, which is the same thing that Undying has. So if you can put together a lineup of 4 commanders that all have those early round damage skills, you'll at least be able to get off a little bit of damage before you get taken out. Now, again, like I said, for gear, it's just kind of whatever's best in slot for them. So this is the lineup that I'm running. It is Sistaro, Undying, Witch King, and Skullhelm. So here I've got focus damage on Sistaro again. Initiative is good here because obviously the sooner you go, the better. So anything with initiative is probably the highest priority, and then focus second. So here on Witch King, just a combination of initiative and focus to boost the damage out from Nazgul. On the Undying, we do have some agility here on the gear, some initiative on the Berserker's Raiment, but overall we're just boosting his attack, his commander attack, to boost this damage right here. For Witch King, it's the same thing as the other elemental damage commanders. It's just focus gear, initiative if possible. Is going to help. Again, something like Perseverance isn't great. Warcry would be a lot better because it's very front loaded. So if you have a Warcry set or multiple Warcry sets, even with purple gear, that could be worth considering because that additional damage up front is all you're trying to get. You don't really care about Perseverance stacking up over 10 rounds because it's not going to go 10 rounds. And then last but not least, on my Skull Helm, again, focus gear, some agility, just trying to get as much out of Nazgul as possible. And again, I use a different amount of Fell Beast or Eagles every time to kind of figure out what actually works best. This one I hit quite a bit bigger a whale here, so I did not do as well, and I had very, very few. So this one I did not do a bunch of damage. I still did more damage to them than they did to me, so I still think that's a win, but there is a certain point where I think it has to be worth the stamina to send them over. Ideally, this is like a second or third march for you. And like I said, if your entire team sends 20 people or 10 or whatever it is to do this and just bomb one tile, you're going to possibly take out several armies. And then as they get weaker, it gets easier for the ones coming behind you. So this is the first one here where I did out damage them with the lowest amount, just 120 supply total. This one I did a little bit more, so we're at 440 supply. And here we did 62,000. They did 44,000 to me. So that one, again, I'd still call it a win for that one. This is the same at 440. And here, actually, I think it's the exact same report we were just looking at. So we're actually on this one. This one we jumped up to 880 supply, and we did 91 to their 63. So at least with the armies I was trying, you can kind of see there's a trend where, for the most part, it does seem like I'm able to put out a decent chunk of damage. If I can get these kind of reports where I got dealt 32 and dealt 71, that's more than doubling the damage they put out. I think that's a pretty big win, in my opinion. Again, took out a bunch of Swan Knights here that's expensive, that cost time and resources. So to me, this was a better one here that I had against that army. And again, I can just keep going all day, but hopefully you guys get the idea. You can play around with the amount. Here was, again, not as good. I almost did 100,000. I got 63 done to me. You can play with the amount of Fell Beasts or Nazguls you use. You could use very, very little, or you could use, again, I wouldn't use too many. I think like 880 supply is probably as high as you should go on it. But if you're getting wiped out too early that you're literally doing nothing, you might need to bump it up just a little bit to get some damage there. But I don't know. I just thought it'd be an interesting video to look at and talk about. So let me know what you guys think about Eagle bombing, Fell Beast bombing. Is it something you do? Is it a waste of time? Are there other little tactics and things that you'd like to see covered in future videos? Because I think these are kind of interesting things that, at least for me, I'm running, as meta lineup as I can sometimes, and hitting Krakens or whales and getting wiped, and that gets old. So sometimes something like this is kind of fun to see how much I can pick off in an army, because I know if you're on the other team, this is probably annoying to think, okay, someone flew over with basically nothing and took out 2,000 of my supply. Now I got to reinforce and waste stamina, or I got to rebuild those troops or whatever. It's more annoying than anything, I feel like. So I don't know. I'm curious what you guys think about it, but that's Eagle Fell Beast bombing in my experience and what I've done so far this season. And if you'd like me to try anything else, let me know and we'll see what we can do. But that will do it for this video, and we'll see you all in a future one.